Okay, well, it's so pretty. I don't want to get rid of it. Ugh. Shit. What's up, nerds? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie. If you're new here, hope your day is going well. And today we're going to do a unhaul. I haven't done one of these in a while, and I've had books sitting over in a corner in my room waiting to be unhauled for like months. And I just haven't gotten around to taking them to a thrift store or like a used bookstore here in Vegas. One of those is really hard to come by. The one I go to closed down, which fucking sucks. But yeah, so I thought that I needed a really easy video because it's Sunday and I don't have a video for you guys yet. So I'm gonna go through these books. I'm also gonna talk a little bit about a specific author that I'm not going to be really talking about on this channel anymore. I think that some people may already know kind of my feelings on this, but without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in to the books I'm getting rid of. Hopefully soon, because they're taking up too much space right now. Last week's video, I told you about books that I want to read and I want you to shame me into reading. And this week's video is me getting rid of books that maybe you guys might like. But if you like these books, don't consider it any attack on you, obviously. I just don't think that I'm going to get around to them and or read them again because I have a finite amount of time on this planet and I don't want to read shit that I don't want to read and or don't want to keep things that I know that I don't value in my life anymore. You know what I'm saying? Alright, so for the first controversial pick, we've got Wicked Saints by Emily Duncan. This book I didn't have a very strong connection with. This is the arc. You heard about the stuff that went on with Emily Duncan. You probably know more about it than honestly I do. There was a lot of subtweets going around on Twitter, or at least my side of Twitter, when this basically this author was outed for bullying other authors, and I just don't want any fucking part of that mess, and this book wasn't good enough for me to like separate that person from this book. Basically I didn't like it enough, so I'm getting rid of it. All right, and I'm pretty sure people have guessed it, but the books that I'm getting rid of are these ones by Jay Kristoff. Obviously we've got Aurora Rising in there, which I did not enjoy, but these books are all ones that I just don't feel comfortable picking up anymore. I definitely have an emotional connection to Nevernight, and I do believe that I will be keeping those copies. I will just not be talking about Jay Kristoff on the channel anymore. If you have like weird feelings about that or like think that for some reason I should be able to separate the author from his work, that's on you, I guess. Like, I just don't want these on my shelves anymore, and I see the glaring problems with them now. Even though when I read especially the Storm Dancer series, I saw the problems. I just chose to ignore them, and I'm not going to do that anymore. It's not okay. And yeah, so these are getting off my shelves. All right, so we're going to move on to just random stuff basically now. I don't even know what's in some of these bags because I have literal bags of books that I want to get rid of. I've got Dear Killer. It's literally dusty. I got this at a thrift store a while ago. It seemed really cool, but it's like old YA, and I just don't feel like I'm ever going to get to it anymore. I've got a couple arcs that I just don't think I'm going to reread because they are young adult YA, young adult romances, contemporary romances. It's Permanent Record and Emergency Contact by Marie H.K. Choi. I loved Emergency Contact. I thought Permanent Record was a little bit in comparison. I do absolutely think this cover is stunning, so I really might keep this one, and I did really like this book. But this one I'll most likely be getting rid of just because it was kind of so I'm not going to continue to keep hold of it because I know for one thing a lot of people want like big collections of books, but for me I'm like, if I'm not going to read something or if I have no intention of getting to it ever, I gotta get rid of it because like I only have this bookcase and then like my kind of smorgasbord bookcase that you don't get to see because it's literally smorgasbord. But yeah, I don't think that I'll ever have like a huge amount of books just because I just feel like it's kind of suffocating to have like a whole bunch of books that I just know that I'm not going to go back to or get to. Speaking of books that I probably should have just not picked up, these are from another thrift store, Excursion. This one I think is about a girl who's a banshee that finds out that one of the teachers in the school is an incubus at her high school, 90% sure, and he's killing girls. I started this and it wasn't good and it wasn't going to make good rent review content for you. This one is like, I think it's an indie published book. Like, look at the margins on this. It's just kind of fucking ridiculous. But the reason why I picked it up is that it says on the back, imagine the girl with the dragon tattoo meets Betty Crocker. I thought that sounded interesting. I think I got like one page in and could not fucking continue on. And honest to God, I don't really like making rant reviews about indie published books because obviously indie authors don't have the like editing teams that like Sarah J Maas has. So I'm not gonna fucking rip apart someone's baby that they wrote who had like a fever dream about the girl with the dragon tattoo combining with Betty Crocker. Someone thought that was a really cool idea and good for them. They intrigued me enough to pick up the book, but I'm not gonna read it. All right, back to a little bit of a controversial statement here. We've got The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. As you can tell, this unhaul has been waiting for a while. If you haven't heard about Mackenzie Lee and all of the shit that she's done, look it up. I'm not gonna go into any explanations here because I read this book, I enjoyed it thoroughly. I am separating it from the catastrophe that is the author because I do think that the story was well done, but I'm not gonna support this author anymore on my channel or like ever really interact with her because she did some dumb shit. I just don't understand that, so no thank you. Now we're on to the first bag of books. So we've got, on the top is a Book of the Month copy of The 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow. I actually read The Once in Future Witches by Alex E. Harrow, and I actually really enjoyed that. But this one, I got all of that far in and stopped. I don't know what I was anticipating from this book, but it just didn't give me anything, so I didn't go back to it, and I don't think I'll keep it on my shelves. It's very pretty, and someone else will probably love it, so going away. An arc here of In Paris with You. I think it was written in, it was written in verse. It was very cute. I think I wanted it in a giveaway. I read it a couple years ago and I will not read it again. So, all right, so we've got Night of Cake and Puppets by Laini Taylor. This is like the novella set in the Daughter and Smoke and Bone world. I read Daughter of Smoke and Bone when it came out and hated it. This was just really adorable and I'm pretty sure it followed one of my favorite characters in that series. But when I read it, I didn't really know what was going on. It's really cute. It's very, very cute. Like, there's these illustrations, and they're really pretty. But honestly, I'm probably not gonna read it again. So I gotta get rid of it. Someone else will love it. Another one that's on Someone Else Will Love It radar is The House of Salt and Sorrows by Aaron A. Craig. I think this was a 12 Princesses retelling. Yes, this is a 12 Princesses retelling, and it was pretty for the most part, and then it kind of went down like a rabbit hole of like YA tropes at the end, and I just was like, oh, okay, no, I'm not into this. So, gonna get rid of this as well. All right, so we have a couple books that I picked up, I'm pretty sure at like a half-price book sale where you could just like get an entire bag of books for like 20 bucks tops. And these are the Prospero War trilogy or series. I read this one because I wanted to read this one after I found it. Yeah, I didn't like this one all that much, so I never got around to this one. That's pretty much how it goes. So yeah, it was like urban fantasy stuff. It was kind of boring. And the main character's a cop, so I'm not interested. We've got The Last Camellia. It's a Reed Pink book. I don't know anything about this. I think it was supposed to be kind of like a literary heist kind of situation. But I never got around to taking a look at it. I probably won't, so I'm gonna get rid of it. All right, an arc that I got like 50 pages into is The Girl King. I think this was like, there was two princesses and one of them was supposed to be the next king, queen, whatever. And then it was the other one and they kind of get freaking annoyed at each other. I don't know. It's been so long since I picked that up. I'm just not gonna read it. I need to get rid of it. So please tell me to go get rid of these books or else I'm gonna live in my room forever. A book that I actually really enjoyed, I just don't think I'm gonna reread, is Sky and the Deep by Adrienne Young. I remember somebody really liked this and I got around to it, really enjoyed it, but I just do not imagine myself rereading it. It's about Vikings. It's got like a hate to love romance, I think. If you're looking for one of those, this is a good recommendation. I'm just not going to keep it on my shelf. The books that I think I tried the first chapter of, but will not be reading is Breath of Earth and Newt's Emerald by Garth Nix. I really wanted to read this one. I feel like I put it on like a million different TBRs, but I just know that I'm not going to get around to it. I'm just not. Like, okay, maybe I will. It's so pretty. I don't want to get rid of it. Series that I think I'm just gonna get rid of because I've had them forever is the Grave at Mercy series. A friend actually gave these to me because I think she picked up the new covers. This is about like assassin nuns. I really enjoyed the first one. I read that one, but then did not proceed to read the rest of this. So, oh well. Oh my god. How many books do you think we're at? Nah, it's not that many. All right. So I've got a couple arcs that were sent to me that I am pretty sure the author asked if she could send me someone else's arc, and then I got her arcs, which were, it was just a little bit strange. But it's Brightly Burning and then The Stars We Steal. I don't have any interest in these, and yeah, so that was it. This is Alone by Sin Bailog. I think this was supposed to be something that I was going to fit on like a Booathon TBR or something like that, but I never got around to it. I'm in my bed at the top of Bug House. Yeah, I don't think so. No thanks. I'm good. We have Girl on a Wire, another thrift store find, a ballerina, horses, Cirque American. I don't think I'm getting into it. All right, we got Velvet Undercover. Yeah, Undercover. Yeah. This is, once again, another thrift store find that I just do not think I'm ever going to get to. Like, I feel like I get a lot of these, like, kind of backlist titles from thrift stores. And all of these, by the way, most of these came with me from Seattle. So, as you can see, I got rid of, like, 100+ books before I moved to Las Vegas. And now I still have a whole bunch of books from back home that I have no intention of reading. And I feel like I've done a really good job of slowing down my book buying. Like, I heavily depend on my library here. And when I do buy a book, I buy it like full price at a Barnes & Noble so that I can give as much money back to the people that made that book. So, I mean, I do sometimes shop at Amazon, okay. Not all the time, but like sometimes I do. But I definitely try and make sure that I'm like slowing down the intake of physical copies of books that I grab up, and especially considering the fact that I worked at a bookstore and had a lot more access to used bookstores and thrift stores that had really good book selections back home. I definitely did not keep a curated collection like I want to do now. So that's the biggest thing that I'm trying to do right now, is curate the collection of books that I have so that when I do move on to, you know, like hopefully having kind of like a library, but not necessarily like an excessive amount of books. Well, it will always be excessive. It's me. I'm the book pusher. I just hope that like the books that I have, I know that I will gravitate towards them every time that I'm by my bookshelf. Like the books that I've shown you so far, I don't feel like I'm gravitating towards them in any way. They're not interesting to me. They're not ones that I want on my shelf for a long time. And yeah, that's why I'm getting rid of them. I don't know why I explained to you why I'm doing this halfway through the video. And another one. So this is Anna K, a love story. I actually did pick this up at a Target last year at some point. I think it was last year. I don't know. This is an Anna Karenina retelling, set in like an affluent New York society, which was kind of cute, kind of fun, very Gossip Girl. I read it. Yeah, I liked it. I'm not gonna read it again. A book that I've tried to read numerous times with like so many different people, and I'm pretty sure it was on an unhaul at some point, is The Novice. I'm pretty sure that my like old roommate wanted me to read this, or like they wanted to. I don't remember. I don't know why I kept this, to be honest. I knew when I was moving down here I wasn't gonna read it. And then we got another Mackenzie Lee book. I don't need to explain this over again. I never read this, so yeah, no great luck. I really just like this cover. It's like it's kind of super vibey. It's The Last Werewolf by Glenn Duncan. I think I started the first chapter. Could not tell you what it's about. It's got red pages though. I really like the vibes of this. Maybe I'll keep it just for like Instagram pictures or something. I don't know. Aesthetics are important. And then we've got Bite Marks. I'm pretty sure this is like a grungy vampire urban setting fantasy thing. Never got around to it. Probably won't read it. I'm gonna get rid of it. A book that I tried reading last year for, was it last year? It was for a whole bunch of booathon videos that I was trying to do, and it was supposed to be all me reading a whole bunch of like older YA vampires. This is Glass Houses. This is the Morganville vampire series. I did read this one. I bought it used on like thrift books or something because it's like impossible to find. Didn't like it. Don't want to read it. I don't want to read on in the series. It was a fun series when I read it. I don't want to ruin all of my memories of those series that were so important to me when I was like 15. I think I'm gonna just let that dog lie, and I will pretend I didn't reread this. I will just pretend that it wasn't a piece of trash. Then we've got A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kimmerer. This was a Beauty and the Beast retelling because, of course, we had one more of those. I think it was Beauty and the Beast. I'm not quite sure. I enjoyed it. Like, I tapped it up. It was fun, but I don't honestly think I'm going to ever reread it again. I have no interest in continuing on with the series. No interest in keeping it. All right, we got Splinters and Gloom. Splinters and Glooms, which is, I think, a middle grade, but it looks super fucking creepy. But I just don't honestly think that I'm going to read it. And I just don't think it's going to happen. Once again, a half-price books winner that I think, honest to God, there was a time where I was just doing hauls for the sake of doing hauls, and I just have no intention of doing that anymore. I really don't. I want to have a curated collection, and I will show you guys what books I add to my collection, and kind of how I, moving forward, will try and only add things that I think will be on my shelves for a long time. And yeah, that's about it. I don't know where I'm going with this. A book that I fucking hated last year, Beach Read. Everyone loved this, but I thought it was not good. So that's why I'm getting rid of it. Won't read it again. So yeah. My room's a mess now. So those are the books that I'm unhauling. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that I get it up and done for you as quickly as possible. And next week I am very excited because we have a rant review coming in for you guys. So hit the subscribe button if you're excited for that. And I will see you then, I think. That's not my outro. Okay, bye.